All right, continuing with the notes, we're now on coterminal angles. And coterminal angles are two angles that have the same terminal position. So, for example, 0 degrees, right? 0 degrees is 0 degrees. It's also 360 degrees, right? And it's also, was that 720 degrees if you go another full circle? So they would be coterminal angles. Or for example, 90 degrees. If you, so the 90 would be this one, right? But if you went another full circle, what's 90 plus 360? Well, it would be 450. So these are coterminal angles because they end up at the same place. And if you went another time around, right, then that would be 810. And all of these are coterminal angles. And as you can see, every time you go around a circle, you get another coterminal angle. Let's see, for example, 180 degrees, right? 180 degrees has this coterminal, right? Ray right here. But if we went around 360 degrees from there, so this would be, hold on one second, I didn't write that one down. Oh yes, I did. It was 540. I thought it said 5400. I was like, what? No, it's 540. And the same thing if we went around again. 540 plus 360 would be 900. So all of these are coterminal angles because they have that same terminal angle. And, you know, just to kill a bird, here we go. This one is 270, right? But if starting from here, I went a full circle, then this would become 630. And if I did again, I added another circle, it would become 900 and, what is that, 990, I think is what I wrote. So how do we find coterminal angles? Well, if you're in degrees, you need to be adding or subtracting 360 depending the direction that you want to go. And if you're in radians, you need to be adding or subtracting to pi because these are full circles. All right, let's find some positive and negative angles. So let's say 280. If I want to find a positive angle, well, one of the things that I can do is I can add 360. Right, so 280, oh, pen. 280 plus 360 would give me 640. So that would be one positive coterminal angle. Another positive coterminal angle would be if I added 360 to that one, right? And what's 640 plus 360? 1000. So 1000 would also be another positive coterminal. Let's say that I want to find a negative coterminal. So one of the things that I would do is 280 minus 360. What do I get? Negative 80. So negative 80 is a negative coterminal. These are positives. This is negative. Let's say I want another one. So I subtract 360 again. And what do I get? So negative 80 minus 360. Negative 440. Right, so there's an endless amount of coterminal angles. We just got to keep going around the circle. So I could keep on adding 360 and find more coterminal angles. I can keep on subtracting 360 and find more negative coterminals. But over here, it just said to find one. So I'm just going to find the immediate one. Let's say for positive, let's put 640. And for negative, let's put negative 80. Okay. All right, for this one, let's find a positive coterminal. So we have negative 1000 plus 360. That's still not going to be good enough. Another 360. And you're going to find that you're going to have to add another 360 until it becomes positive. So a positive coterminal, at least the first positive coterminal, would be 80. And then a negative coterminal, well, now you have a choice, right? Because now you can say negative 1000 minus 360 right? And that's going to give you negative 1,360. Well, that's 1. Or you could have added 360, right? Because negative 1,000 plus 360, I'm adding, is negative 640. So in this case, in both directions, you have a negative number. This is the reason why we had to do this 3 times until our number became positive. All right, so one negative one would be this one. But that doesn't mean that it's the only one. It's just one coterminal angle that's negative. All right, 1290. Let's see, 1290. To find a positive one, we can add 360. Right, 1290 plus 360. Please make sure that you're following with your calculator. Should be 1650. Well, that's 1. But 1290 is so big that if you subtract 360, I get 930. And that one's still positive, right? So I can't fault you for giving me either one. Both of them are positive coterminals. But now if I want a negative one, you got to keep on subtracting 360. Let's see what that does. 930 minus 360 minus 360. Oh, Lord have mercy. It is still positive. So we need to subtract 360 again. And we get negative 150. All right, we now have a negative coterminal. All right, let's do this with pi's. And I hope by now you have figured out how to use your calculator, because otherwise it's going to be tedious doing this by hand. So I'm going to use my calculator. If you need help, you know how to use your calculator, it would be good if you could ask so that we can do a few using your calculator, making sure that you can do this on the calculator. So from now on, I will expect you to be able to do this with your calculator, and if you can't, you don't have one, then learn how to do it by hand. I already showed you in previous videos how to do the fractions by hand. All right, negative 2 pi over 15, or negative 2/15 pi. If we want to get a positive coterminal, then we need to add 2 pi, and let's see, negative 2 pi over 15 plus 2 pi gives me 28 pi over 15. All right, that's definitely positive. That's all I really care about, 28 pi over 15. That's not the only one. I could add 2 pi again and get another positive coterminal. All right, a negative coterminal. Well, what I can do is I could subtract 2 pi, right? So now I'm going this way. So then I would type in negative 2 pi over 15 minus 2 pi, and that's minus 32 pi over 15. All right, 3 pi over 4. If I want to get a positive one, all I got to do is add 2 pi. So 3 pi fourths plus 2 pi is 11 pi over 4. And if I want to get the negative one, I would subtract 2 pi. So 3 pi over 4 minus 2 pi. And I get a negative 1, which is good, which means I don't have to subtract pi again. Negative pi over 4. All right, now I have negative 15 pi over 4. And I want to get a positive coterminal, so I'm going to add 2 pi. So negative 15 pi over 4 plus 2 pi. And I got a negative 1. Negative 7 pi over 4. And what does that mean? That means you got to add 2 pi again. Plus 2 pi. And I got a positive 1. Pi over 4. Right? For a negative 1, you can go ahead and take this one if you want. Or you can go in the other direction and subtract 2 pi. Over 4 minus 2 pi. And I got negative 23. Right? And both of them would be correct unless it's multiple choice, and then you better find the right choice. Okay? All right, the last topic, going between radians and degrees. If you have degrees and you want to get radians, then you would multiply by pi over 180. And if you have radians and you want to get degrees, then you multiply by 180 over pi. And I'm going to show you how that works out. All right, with this one, we have 900 degrees and we want to go to radians. So then you would say 900 degrees times, or you just put a little bullet here for multiplication, times pi over 180. And this literally means 900 divided by 180, and you can tack on a pi. So then you do 900 over 180, and you get 5. So the answer is 5 pi. All right, negative 32 degrees, and we want to go to radians. All right, so negative 32 degrees times pi over 180. And the thing you need to understand is the 180 is on the bottom because we need to cancel degrees and be left with radians. And so this is literally negative 32 degrees over 180 with a pi. So in your calculator, negative 32 over 180, negative 8 over 45. And yes, you have to learn how to leave this in a fraction. So you need to make sure that you can leave this, you can change those decimals into fractions using your calculator. So negative 8 over 45. All right, now we have radians and we want to convert it to degrees. All right, I need more room, so I'm going to work over here. Times 180 over pi. And the beauty of this is that the pi's cancel. And you're left with 11 times 180 over 15. And I get 132. All right, negative 21 over 4 pi. And we want to change this into degrees, so 180 degrees over pi. Beauty of this is the pi's cancel, and now you have negative 21 times 180 divided by 4. So negative 21 times 180 by 4. And I get negative 945. All right, and that's it. Please make sure that you're paying attention in class, you're being a calculator, and that you rewatch this video as needed. It took me a long time to make, and I had to start over several times. Thank you.